Chosen one. Stop for a second. Wherever you are right now, sitting, walking, scrolling, don't skip this, because what's about to reach you isn't random. And deep down, you already feel that. There was a moment you stayed strong when it would have been easier to fold, when everything felt like too much. You didn't quit. You kept going, even when nobody clapped for you, even when nobody checked on you. And that quiet decision, made with a tired heart, was seen. It wasn't some big, dramatic move. It was small, honest, real. But it carried more power than you realize, because that moment shifted something inside you, and it started a chain of events that was always meant to happen. Before I tell you what this means for you, do this quickly. Like this video, subscribe, and comment, "Amen, I receive," if you're grateful God has been keeping you through everything. Now listen closely. January 30th is not just another date. For the chosen ones, it's a marker, a turning point. Some people will call it timing, others will call it coincidence. But you and I both know there are moments when life moves in a way you can't explain, and yet it feels unmistakably directed. Today carries a different weight. You may notice it in the air, in your emotions, in your thoughts. Memories might surface out of nowhere. Decisions that used to feel heavy might suddenly feel lighter. That's not you imagining things. That's alignment. That's God shifting the pieces without making a scene. Think back. Really think. There were times quitting would have been the easiest option, but you stayed. You pushed. You endured. And that endurance, unseen by people, prepared you for this moment. Because what's beginning now is connected to what you survived, and it's going to grow in ways you can't fully see yet. You may not have the full picture, but your spirit recognizes the season. Your mind, your heart, your life. Everything in you is responding to an invisible order. Something deeper is approaching. It hasn't fully arrived, but its presence is already here. And by tonight, pieces of your story will start making sense in a way that catches you off guard. Let's be real. There were days life felt heavy, like every step cost you something, like you were carrying more than you could explain to anyone. Some days were small wins, other days were straight battles, and many days were both at the same time. You may have asked, why is it this hard for me? What you couldn't see back then is this. Every choice you made not to break trained you for what's next. You were being strengthened for a door you hadn't even seen yet. Remember those nights sleep wouldn't come, when your chest felt tight and tears showed up without warning. And still, you stayed present. You faced what was in front of you instead of running from it. That right there, that's not weakness, that's rare strength. And now, the shift is starting. Quietly. Not loud, not forced, but undeniable. Things that felt stuck are beginning to move. Situations that used to feel impossible are starting to loosen. And the steps you take from here carry more weight than ever. Because every time you tried again, every time you stood back up, every time you believed in yourself when nobody else did, you were building the foundation for this next chapter. You were never alone. Even when it felt like silence, there was covering over your life. And now you'll start noticing confirmations. Small at first, but clear. Patterns, repeating numbers, unexpected timing, coincidences that are too perfect to ignore. Little moments that quietly say, your effort was not wasted. Tonight, that change becomes real, inside you and around you. You'll notice it first through subtle things, a calm where anxiety used to live, clarity where confusion used to sit, confidence, where you used to hesitate. And when the next step shows up, you won't face it scared. You won't second-guess yourself. You'll move with a steady presence that naturally attracts what's meant for you. From here, alignment won't feel like struggle. It'll feel like doors opening without you having to break them down. You'll start seeing markers throughout your day, little reminders that your steps are landing in the right place. You arrive exactly when you need to. You leave right before trouble starts. Delays end up protecting you instead of hurting you. And you don't always notice it in the moment. You recognize it later, when you look back and realize how perfectly it all fit. Even the night can feel different. You might find yourself awake later than usual, not restless, just aware. Your thoughts flow without pressure. Memories drift in and out like whispers. And it may feel like something inside you has shifted, like furniture quietly moved in a dark room. No noise, but everything is in a new position. Your sleep may start changing too, not in a dramatic way, not in some chaotic, scary way, just more meaningful, more specific, more like your spirit is being spoken to in a language your soul actually understands. You might notice faces returning, places repeating, emotions rising and fading without a clear reason. And you wake up with that strange certainty like something important happened, even if no words were spoken, even if you can't explain it. Because sometimes guidance doesn't come as a loud sign in the sky. Sometimes it comes quietly, through your inner world, in the simplest form you can receive. And then, the coincidences start stacking up. You think of something, and you hear it again from someone else that same day. You step out of your normal routine, and help is already waiting for you. A book opens to the exact page you needed. A message hits your phone right when you were about to give up. And it doesn't feel generic. It feels personal, like life is responding directly to your movement. You may even feel sudden emotional waves, tears without sadness, relief without a clear reason, a calm that shows up out of nowhere and sits in your chest like it belongs there. That's not you being emotional. That's not you overthinking. That's release. That's what it feels like when something you carried for too long finally starts leaving. And you don't have to fix anything. You don't have to force closure. You don't have to figure it all out. Just let it pass through. Because your intuition is getting sharper now. Decisions come quicker. You don't wrestle with yourself for days. You know when to move forward. You know when to stay still. You know what's for you and what drains you. And that knowing didn't come out of nowhere. It was built slowly, through pressure. Every hard moment trained you. Every setback refined you. Every season that felt like it was breaking you was actually teaching you how to stand. And here's another sign you may notice. People respond to you differently. Conversations flow easier. People open up more than they planned to. And you're not forcing it. You're not trying to pull information out of them. But somehow they leave lighter, clearer, calmer. That happens when your presence shifts, because you're not carrying the same tension anymore. And that absence of tension creates safety. You'll keep noticing the moon showing up at the right moments, especially in those late-night hours when you reflect. Those last hours of the day become quiet checkpoints, where you realize how far you've actually come. You start seeing progress that used to feel invisible, because the struggle that shaped you doesn't define you anymore. It prepared you, and small confirmations will keep repeating. Paths crossing again, opportunities returning, this time with better timing. What used to slip through your hands comes back, but steadier. Not to tease you, to reassure you, because repetition is a quiet kind of protection. It's life saying, You're aligned. Stay steady. And hear me. Listen carefully. You don't have to obsess over meanings. You don't have to decode every little thing. You don't have to chase signs like a scavenger hunt. Awareness is enough. Just watch what repeats. Watch what flows. Watch what suddenly becomes easier. Because these signs aren't here to impress you. They're here to support you. And yes, January 30th is a day that was set aside for you. Something about the weight you've been carrying, the heaviness that kept you stuck, the pressure that made everything feel harder than it needed to be. It's starting to move differently now. What used to block you doesn't have the same power. What used to pull you down can't hold you the same way. You're stepping into a space where what's meant for you can finally reach you. None of what you went through was wasted. Not one tear, not one lonely night, not one moment you thought you wouldn't make it. Every test was preparation. Every hard day was shaping you to handle what's coming, without panic, without stress, without fear. You don't have to force anything anymore. What is yours will find its way to you. Some people spend their entire lives fighting for every inch, but not you, not in this season. Now life starts flowing with you, not against you. What used to drain your energy can't touch you the same. What used to confuse you starts becoming clear, one step at a time, and everything around you begins fitting together like it was designed to. You may notice sudden opportunities, unexpected support, decisions that feel strangely simple. That's not random, that's guidance. So release the need to control the outcome. You don't have to prove anything. You already proved strength. You already proved patience. You already proved endurance. Now it's time to receive. And tonight, something shifts inside you. Maybe nobody else can see it, but you will. The pressure, the uncertainty, the moments you felt lost, they all converge into one moment of understanding. And what you thought was holding you back starts dissolving. At first it feels subtle, like a quiet unfolding, like something loosening in your chest, a moment that feels familiar and brand new at the same time. The fear doesn't vanish instantly, no. The doubt might still whisper, but it stops controlling you, and you feel that movement, that internal stirring, like a promise rising up in you. A deep knowing that says, this is where it changes. You look back at your life, the roads you walked, the nights you cried, the days you tried again and again, and suddenly, it connects, it clicks. Every challenge was pointing to this. Even the unfair moments, even the seasons that felt like punishment, they were making room for an opportunity you couldn't see yet. And your mind, once loud with worry, starts quieting down because you realize you don't have to solve everything. You don't have to keep fighting to be worthy. You don't have to keep proving your value. That hunger to struggle just to survive fades. And in its place comes something simple but powerful. Certainty. The certainty that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And with that certainty comes a strange lightness. Like your spirit finally puts something down. Your perception changes. Things that used to feel impossible start feeling reachable. Problems that used to steal your sleep don't dominate your thoughts anymore. You see them, but they don't intimidate you. The fear may still exist, but it doesn't get to decide for you anymore. And right now, you're standing in that space between what was and what's coming next. And the weight of the past starts lifting. It starts slowly at first, almost invisible. A subtle shift inside you, a quiet change in your energy, a gentle sense that things are finally lining up. Your instincts feel sharper, your choices feel guided, like you're not guessing anymore. And somehow, even the outside world starts adjusting around you. People respond differently. Opportunities show up without you having to chase them down. Timing starts becoming unreal, almost miraculous. Like life is rearranging itself to match the fact that you're finally ready. And then there's a moment, just one moment, where you fully realize it. It's like the storm in your life pauses. The chaos, the tension, the constant pressure, everything that felt urgent suddenly doesn't demand you anymore. And in that quiet space, something deeper inside you remembers. You remember your strength. You remember your purpose. You remember the truth that has always lived inside you, even when you were too tired to feel it. You remember who you are. And when you remember, something opens, not physically, but you feel it in every part of your being, like a door that's been locked. Your whole life swings wide open. You can't see it, but you know it's there. And through that door, something new starts entering. A new understanding, a new clarity, new opportunities that don't feel forced. They feel appointed. What used to feel far away suddenly feels within reach. What used to feel impossible starts feeling inevitable. And the moment feels cinematic, like the world is holding its breath. You may even notice your body reacting, your chest rising and falling differently, your heart beating with a rhythm that feels like weight and freedom at the same time. Because every fear you faced starts making sense. Every sleepless night, every setback, every time doubt tried to convince you to stop. It was all training you for this turn. And in that instant, you understand something that changes everything. Nothing will ever be the same again. You can't go back to who you were before the shift, because what's opening in you now is permanent. It changes how you walk, how you speak, how you choose, how you carry yourself in rooms where you used to shrink. You're stepping into a higher level of you, a level that always existed, but was waiting for this exact moment to reveal itself. And from here, you start noticing confirmations all around you. Small details at first, a conversation, a gesture, a coincidence that could have been nothing. But now you feel the meaning underneath it. And no, these aren't random. They're reminders. They're signs you're being guided, that the doors opening in your life aren't meant to be stared at. They're meant to be walked through. And you move forward without hesitation. Because for the first time in a long time, you trust what's happening. Your past struggles, the ones that used to feel so heavy, start changing their role in your story. They're no longer burdens. They're teachers. Every experience shaped you. Every painful season strengthened you. Every moment you thought was breaking you was preparing you for this exact instant. And you see it clearly now. You are not here by accident. You're here because everything led you here. And then another feeling rises up. One you may not have felt in a long time. Hope. But not fragile hope. Not the kind that collapses when life gets hard. This is different. This is solid. This is powerful. A deep, steady knowing that what's coming next is aligned with who you're becoming, and you don't have to chase it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to beg life to finally work out. It's arriving at the perfect time, and you're ready to receive it fully. Because the turning point doesn't come with fireworks. It comes as a quiet recognition, an undeniable certainty, a moment where you just know something in me has changed. And as that certainty settles in, it's like the universe responds. Challenges start transforming in unexpected ways. Obstacles shift, or they dissolve completely. Resistance that used to block you starts fading, and you're not being freed from life's work. You're being freed from the weight that kept you trapped inside it. The moment expands. until it fills your awareness. You can feel it radiating outward, touching your decisions, your relationships, your plans, your future. And somehow, it still happens gently. No force, no struggle, no pushing, because you're entering a flow that's been waiting for you. You may feel it in your body, a warmth in your chest, energy building in your hands, a light tingling, like something inside you is waking up. Trust that. That's your inner compass, your guidance system, your confirmation that the turning point is real. It's like the universe is whispering, "This is your moment." And right when you think it's reached the peak, something deeper stirs. Another layer begins to reveal itself. You can't see it fully yet, but you can feel it. You know there's more coming. A revelation that takes you farther than you ever imagined. The storm has passed, but hear me. Your journey is only beginning. You're standing in the calm now, fully aware that everything you've lived through has brought you exactly here. You're ready. You're aligned. You're moving forward. And that door, the one that opened inside you, is still open, holding something extraordinary just beyond what you can see. As this moment stretches, a new kind of clarity fills you. You realize the fear and hesitation were never your identity. They were temporary companions, sent to show you how strong you become when you choose the harder path instead of the familiar one. You remember the nights when everything felt impossible, the days when every step felt heavy, but now those struggles aren't chains, they're proof. Proof that you could endure, proof that you could rise again, proof that you could be tested and still keep your light. And you feel it, a shift in how you move through life. Decisions that once took endless overthinking now flow naturally. You trust yourself more than ever. You trust your instincts. You trust the wisdom that's been growing quietly inside you this whole time. Because now, everything you do feels connected to something bigger than you. Something that's been arranging your steps with perfect timing. You're not fighting the current anymore. The current is carrying you, and for the first time, it's moving in your favor. And the turning point isn't loud, it isn't flashy, it doesn't show up with fireworks and announcements. It arrives in quiet recognition, when you suddenly realize that life stopped trying to trip you. Things that used to confuse you start resolving on their own. Situations that used to frustrate you untangle without force. People who once felt unreachable suddenly respond. Opportunities show up like they were scheduled. And in those moments, you can't deny it. The world is shaping itself around the person you became. Then a strange feeling spreads through you, like a silent fire, steady, warm, alive, not consuming you, empowering you, a pulse that says, "Move forward now." And you notice your old doubts backing away, replaced by something stronger, something unshakable. You finally understand your growth, not as a story of suffering, but as a story of preparation. Every test, every delay, every heartbreak, it was all laying the foundation for this exact moment. And then comes the real recognition of your power. Not the power to control people, not the power to force outcomes, but the power to create alignment. You realize your intentions carry weight now. Your actions carry influence. Your choices shift things in ways you never could have predicted before. Life responds to you differently now. Paths that used to feel blocked start opening easily. Opportunities that once felt far away start moving toward you. And you don't have to chase them. They arrive at the perfect time, almost like they've been waiting for your yes. And in this turning point, you also see your past self, the version of you who doubted, feared, questioned everything. But instead of regret, you feel gratitude. Gratitude for every moment that shaped you, every test that refined you, every season that prepared you for this new life, even the mistakes, even the heartbreaks, even the setbacks. They weren't pointless. They were invisible teachers guiding you toward this moment without you realizing it. And you may start noticing repetition again, numbers, coincidences, meetings that feel strangely meaningful, not random, confirmations, signs that you are exactly where you need to be. You can't always explain it, but you can feel the truth of it. And every single one strengthens the certainty in your heart that you're on the right path, at the right time, in the right way. As that inner door opens fully, something else happens. You begin to see, not just the next step, but the bigger journey, the connections, the opportunities, the possibilities. You realize your life can impact people in ways you never expected. You're not moving blindly anymore. You move with intention, guided by a force that's been preparing you for this moment your entire life. And with that awareness comes a freedom you've never known. Fear no longer controls your choices. Doubt no longer delays your progress. Because now you understand, the obstacles weren't only blocking you, they were shaping you. The people who challenged you weren't only hurting you, they were teaching you patience, resilience, and wisdom. So you step into the world with a natural authority, not arrogance, clarity, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and what you can handle. And in this transition, you begin to feel a deeper rhythm inside you, a pulse that feels synchronized with something greater. Your energy moves like invisible waves, guiding you toward the right experiences and connecting you to the right people. You see patterns, alignments, confirmations increasing, and you stop questioning them because you know your life isn't random anymore. It's flowing with a purpose bigger than your mind can fully grasp, but somehow still perfectly meant for you. And then the final realization arrives, like a silent victory. You're not waiting anymore. Not waiting for permission. Not waiting for recognition. Not waiting for someone to finally choose you. The turning point was never about the world changing for you. It's about you fully owning your strength. You are the change. And because you changed, everything around you begins to change too. The transformation is complete, but it's only the beginning of a new chapter. And with that understanding comes one final wave of certainty. All the struggle, the waiting, the setbacks, the confusion, it all led to this one moment of recognition. You were never behind. You were being prepared. If you feel all of this, write in the comments right now. I receive this to anchor your spiritual awakening and claim your path as one of God's chosen. You're aligned, and you're stepping into a space where growth, love, and opportunity meet you at every step.